Hey, yo, how's it going?
Hi, what's up?
Hey, I heard you wanted people to come in here and just flash some Joe Biden porn quick or like Hunter Biden porn, right?
Oh yeah, you can do that because now I have the camera off the screen, so knock yourself out.
Awesome, wonderful. How you been, man? I'm sorry you got banned. That's some bullshit, man.
Yeah, just chilling.
Just chilling like a villain.
Yeah, just watching something about the India stuff going on.
Stuff's wild, isn't it? It was like what was it, 400,000 cases in a day?
Yeah, man, they're I feel really bad for conservatives because they're running out of countries that aren't like us that seemed like lockdowns and stuff were being pretty effective.
Occurred.
Because every time you bring up a country like the three I would always go to would be like South Korea, New Zealand, Australia. And people are like, oh, that South Korea is like cut off, and like New Zealand, Australia are islands. It's like, okay, well, Australia is a fucking island. Like, I mean, technically North America is an island. If you, it depends how big you want to be. But
Yeah.
now with India, it's like, okay, well, it seems like the lockdown stuff was pretty effective, and
I always thought Vietnam was a good one to point to. Vietnam and Taiwan, because Vietnam, Taiwan, and Korea are all nations very close to China that has a lot more actual like people going back and forth.
yeah, so I know that Vietnam's posted numbers are really low. I haven't looked into whether or not those are true or not, and I don't know how much I trust that government. Not to say that they are lying. I didn't look closely enough into it, and it's really easy to look at like South Korea is such an incredibly dense place with so
Taiwan.
many people traveling. Yeah, Taiwan is as well, but like South Korea is just such a good example of like nobody can say like, oh well, they're fudging the numbers or blah blah blah. Chinese influence. Like it's South Korea. Like you can't believe that. Like I just feel like South Korea is like a killer example of like dealing with it really well. And I don't think you
But
can
they'll
find
always
like
be like, well, there's not like 20 like dairy farms in the middle of it or something, so therefore it's not comparable. It'd be something that's completely unrelated.
oh sure. I mean they can try to find that, but I mean at some point you've got to like wonder like, dude, like, it's pretty obvious what's going on.
Yeah, pretty sad.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm here because I know that I couldn't get you on the Hippy Dippy Championship, and you know what? We're very sad here at Hippy Dippy Industries. Okay, we're very
Oh,
sad.
it's gonna join and I got banned. Fuck, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, you were
fuck.
going to, but then you got banned. That was
Mhm.
actually retaliation from Twitch staff who wanted to see you actually on there.
Yeah.
They were waiting for a reason. But also you didn't delete the VOD. Why didn't you delete the VOD? Honest question.
I don't think it does anything. I talked to partner managers in the past, and like it doesn't do anything. The only thing people think that deleting the VOD helps. The only thing that deleting the VOD helps about is it like if somebody hasn't reported you, then maybe somebody can like go back in time and find a VOD and report you. But if you've already been reported, deleting the VOD doesn't do anything.
Yeah, so if you're
like,
a small creator, might help, but like if you're a bigger
yeah,
creator,
so like if you're just like a small nobody and you like delete a VOD and nobody reported you, then you're good. But yeah.
Okay. So I wanted to invite you to this Friday. We have an open spot if you want it.
I'd have to look because I think I'm on something with Mouthy Infidel and a bunch of conservative people this Friday. I'm
Drunken
so
debates
sorry.
or something?
No, it's some other. Fuck. I don't remember the name of the channel. But yeah. Fuck. What time is it?
It's gonna be 8 p.m. usual time. Eastern Standard. 5 p.m. Pacific it would be.
Oh, well, thanks for clarifying. Well, I'll take a look if that other thing gets canceled. I'll be hopping right on. Oh, politically provoked. Those people.
Got it. Okay. I'll keep you in the loop for other shows then. See you later, man.
Okay. Well, how's life going?
Life? Life's going good. I just had a 2-hour debate with somebody about conversion therapy.
What about it?
Basically, like whether it should be banned or not, and the person wouldn't answer the question. And just a lot of gay debates recently.
So here's my big question, and I've asked this to some conservatives, right? So you've heard like the idea that like, oh, like being trans is a fad and blah 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 blah, And if we're being like ultra charitable, I'm sure that there are definitely some, especially with the non-binary tag, people that meme out on Twitter over that shit or whatever. But by and large, like my question for conservatives that do this, like people are just treating it like a fad. How are people so committed to these identities that they kill themselves over? Yeah, like so when you say things like, oh, well, like conversion therapy works for gay people, and it's like, okay, well, if that's true, like literally any gay person, like no conversion therapy is going to be stronger than like some gay teenager that feels ostracized from his entire community, family, church. Like these people would have every incentive in the world for conversion therapy to work, and it just doesn't seem to be the case. Right. And then same thing with trans people. Like, man, like all those trans people are faking it so much that they try to kill themselves over the anguish they feel. Like, why do you really feel that? I don't know. I've never gotten like an adequate answer to that question. I'm sure
There's not really an adequate answer to the question, because what they would have to be saying is that they were so indoctrinated into it that it like pushes them to suicide.
Yeah, I guess.
But
that's kind of what I'm.
it's ridiculous, because statistically you can see the differences between the LGBTQ plus population and the straight population on whether it comes to suicide, when it comes to poverty, when it comes to all these things. I don't understand how anybody would put them at a more likely to go homeless, more likely to have like hate crimes done against them, more likely to be discriminated against. Many states in this union, still half the population in places like Arkansas believe you're degenerate and evil for being gay. And of course, then you have your own list of possible like problems when it comes to things like being not accepted and higher rates of suicide, and going through all this. Because like the man butt was just too much. You just felt like it that day of the week. It doesn't make
something
sense.
That like one of my ultra most crazy fucking black pill moments on like lefty and progressive shit. And I don't think I talked about this stream a little bit, but I should have made this a way bigger deal. This blew my fucking mind. Was how many people took issue with Pete's statement about like, if he could take a pill to not be gay, he wouldn't do it.
Oh yeah, I that was really stupid. I'm sorry, there were so many people who treated Pete, and like Pete's not my guy, but they treat him like absolute shit, like he was a fake gay or the wrong gay.
Yeah, and
it was so gross.
This is like one of the most kind of obvious statements that I would expect anybody that knows anything about LGBT issues to understand. Like, of course, like all of the ostracization and all of the life difficulties that come with like some of these like LGBT statuses. Of course, there's a lot of people that wish otherwise. Man, it was really weird. And people are like, and he said it right next to his husband. What an insult! And it's like, damn, like you guys are fucking morons. What the fuck? That blew my mind, dude. And then to see like Mike obviously is a dipshit, but to see like all the Chapo Trap House people, man, dude, that image they posted of Pete like with the gang rape scene from the movie,
that was really bad.
Yeah, and the guy on fucking Trainwrecks, I don't remember which one, Felix. I don't know the name of the Chapo guy that was like, oh well, that had nothing to do with being gay. It was just a meme from the show about like a stressful moment. It's like, are you fucking serious, dude? That's like one of the most. That's probably one of the most yikesy homophobic. Like, I don't even know if a fucking conservative would have the balls to post something that fucking yikes. Maybe there are a few of them, but
what
holy
did Mike
shit,
say about Pete? I don't remember.
Mike said that Mike is just.
Do we have like a clip on it?
Honest to God, and I hate giving him any credit, but sometimes I think he's playing a character because he just says things that are so like some of these clips that come out of him where he's like, what kind of a sheltered life did you guys live where you never ran from the cops? I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about?
I think he said like running from a party or something, right? Didn't he say like if you didn't run from like a party or the cop, but like I don't know. I mean, my interaction with the cops were a lot different. It's like getting patted down at school because like I was like moving cigarettes or something, right?
I think Mike said so. Mike said that it was unbelievable that Pete waited so long to come out to be gay, and he felt like he was faking it because it was politically expedient.
That's a big thing. Is there a clip on that?
If somebody can find a clip of it,
that's hard to believe. I'm gonna be honest.
Pete was literally like a military guy in fucking Indiana. I couldn't believe it. Hold on. Somebody linked the bath boy.
The thing is, I remember when I was gay. The big thing for me is I remember when I came out, and my grandfather was going through like a medical crisis, and I remember being looked at by my grandmother at the time, and basically just being like told like, you're gonna say that when your grandfather's going through like a medical thing, as if like I was pushing him closer to death, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Stuff like that is immediately why I would take the pill. You know what I mean?
DGG chat. Let me know when you get the tweet loaded.
You put in DGG chat? Oh, sorry, I'm not looking at DGG chat. I don't like to look at a bunch
of... this fucking idiot linked the wrong thing. I'm sorry, hold on. Let me, who has the link to this? Okay, hold on. I'll just wait until somebody links everything. I'm sorry, no, don't just ignore me. 1 second.
No worries. I get it, you lied about one of the most trustworthy people on Twitch, and now you're just like scrambling.
Okay, here you go. Try this. Okay, let me know when you're ready.
Are you watching it on stream or?
Yeah. All right, we can just so we're watching it at the same time. We're at the same place.
Okay. Okay, I have your stream up.
3, 2. Oh. I'm just playing with it. Oh,
okay.
I thought you were like loading it, then we played at the same time.
I'm sorry. I thought you put. I sent in DMs. Okay, I'm watching.
You were like loading it, then we played at the same time. Right.
I'm sorry. I thought you put. I sent in DMs. Okay, I'm watching your stream now.
Christ. All right.
He is. He's a conservative. Yeah. He's a conservative, ashamed of being gay. who won't stick his neck out for his own fucking identity. He's an opportunist. He's a scumbag.
Yeah.
And anybody who with
You would
any
do-
sense of
you would do
smell can
anything
smell
for
a
us.
rat.
Yeah, so that's a stupid argument,
Fucking rat.
but of course not. I love everyone. So wait, then why don't you but if you love everyone, then why don't you love the Jews the same as you love the gays?
Okay, just give me like 2 minutes.
Why would
Love
Bernie
the
drop
gays
out?
more
Can you
than the
explain?
Jews?
Fuck. Okay, I wonder if it just was the other one.
give-
Hold on.
Rambling Destiny.
Once again, blatantly shame. That's not
Disingenuous
it.
Destiny. Scrambling. Trying to
There's
ruin
a
Mike's good
better-
name.
Hold on.
Everybody spam DSA God in chat, okay? Getting rolled right now. Unbelievable.
This one. This
Okay,
was it. Yeah,
okay,
hold
let me
on.
watch it.
Okay, listen, yeah. This one. This was it. Yeah,
Okay.
hold on.
Okay, let me
Okay,
watch it.
listen, yeah.
And the timing of things has been at least interesting enough to comment on. And the other thing is like about Pete being ashamed that he's gay is something I said last night, which is obviously true because he remained in the closet until 2015, which is an unbelievable thing for a political figure to remain in the closet. He felt ashamed of his sexuality in 2015. He came out after the gay marriage decision in the Supreme Court. That's just an objective fact. Now, I mean, he was living in a college town, so nobody fucking cared. But when he was running statewide in Indiana,
That's pretty bad.
That's
pretty
like
bad.
that's unimaginable to me. This is like a Tucker Carlson monologue. Like,
So the thing for me, right, is I could understand like somebody actually like being ashamed of his sexuality, but I don't believe Pete ever said that. Somebody coming out after the gay marriage thing, like when they're a political figure, could 100% because now it's normalized. Now I feel I can do it. There's some
Yeah,
places in this country where you can't do that realistically and stay within that power, and it would be difficult for you to get elected while being an open homosexual. But then after you get elected, after it's a little bit normalized, then you come out, then it's easier. At that position in point in time, right?
and it might not even be a matter of like electoral stuff. It might be a matter of like your friends and your family and your community. And like I would even go a step further, and I would say like I think that there are, especially in the early stages of life, people that have abnormal like sexual leanings or whatever are ashamed of it because they're made to feel that way, societally speaking, right? Like if you've got like parents and shit that are shaming the fuck out of you for your sexuality and you're like a teenager, I'm sure there are people that feel like, fuck, like what's wrong with me? You know, like why am I so fucked up or whatever? Like it's probably like for some people a relatively normal part of like the LGBT experience. I don't know, like that all of the way that the lefties like went after Pete's like gayness or whatever, like
Okay,
absolutely.
let's be
blew
fair.
my
When we
fucking
say
mind.
lefties, we mean a very small group of people who are incomprehensible, like they make up 0.2% of the vote of people who went after this.
No,
for that,
it used
okay?
to be.
Do you really think there was a bunch of like people? Who was like,
Yes. Here's the difference. Okay, the difference in the statements now is that when Sargon was talking about them in 2016, Sargon would find a fucking tweet with 2 fucking likes and say this guy represents like all the left, blah 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 blah, and it was fucking stupid. The difference now, though, is the statements I say are coming from people like Sean King or Jordan Oll or Brianna, whatever. Joy or whatever. Like these are people that are getting now tens of thousands, 50,000, over 100,000 likes on their tweet. That's the difference. It's gotten, at very least online, it's gotten way more mainstream online. It is no longer just like the random screeching, blue-haired.
This take was normalized online that like Pete
How many-
Buttigieg was
somebody-
ashamed for being gay, and it was just
Yes.
like.
Somebody find me the Chapo tweets, please. How many those things had like a ton of engagement?
I mean,
a lot
those
of
are,
people make
again,
this statement.
Chapo Trap House is not somebody. I would even say the Chapo Trap House, when it comes online, is like they're a notable podcast, but they're not like the left online.
I think Chapo is literally, I think, the #1 patron on Patreon, isn't it? I think Chapo makes more money on Patreon, I think, than any other. I think it is the largest leftist podcast.
Didn't they also
Like,
have to roll everything back, like try to like roll back all their statements after they said it because they
might have, but I'm just saying that like it's so much different. Like back then, because that was my line of argument. What you just said is what I would say to Sargon. Like, dude, nobody cares what like a 4-follower dipshit that gets 3 likes on Twitter says. But now it's like literally mainstream fucking people that are tweeting it and getting a fuck ton of engagement.
When we
on
say
it.
mainstream, I wouldn't even.
When I
call
say
it-
mainstream, I mean mainstream online, but it's breaking more and more into real life, right? Like these, like the Medicare for all or the force the vote, like shit that's coming from
it's
people
hard.
like Jimmy
The
Dore
thing
and
is,
stuff.
this could 100% also be confirmation bias due to the circles we belong in. So the thing is, it's hard for me to be like, yeah, I'm sure there's like a bunch of people like I'm not gonna vote for Pete Buttigieg because I thought he was a real gay, but then I found out that he only came in after the gay marriage vote, and I think he was a disingenuous gay.
And I understand what you mean by that, but so like I look to things. It's like for the first time, as far as what I'm aware, for the first time that's ever happened, like Bernie Sanders, like a mainstream political candidate, had to actually like publicly call for people on Twitter to chill because other candidates were starting to notice it so much. Like I remember that like Bernie Sanders had to publicly disavow people on Twitter because every other campaign was noticing the unbelievable amount of toxic shit that was coming out of like the Bernie or Busters, the Bernie bros.
Again, when we talk about that, that was one moment on the campaign, and I think that one moment is immediately overshadowed by the millions and millions and millions and millions of other moments. And that Twitter type of hate mob in the grand picture, again, still feels like basically like irrelevant to me. I feel like this is a lot of people projecting a lot more importance on this online bullshit than it's actually going to have. I have never in the entirety of my life ever door knocked for anyone and had to deal with one of these issues being the case. There's been a few times when this has crossed over, but this is number one amongst really young people and number two amongst really online people that a lot of times I've met through being very young and very online.
Yeah, I mean, I hope. Here's
Can I-
like
can I
two
show-
tweets
can
that
I-
almost had like 10,000 likes
Okay,
each.
somebody
like,
just linked me the Virgil tweet. Can I
yeah,
even show this
I
on
tried-
stream?
I wouldn't know.
Okay.
You probably can, but I wouldn't. Or I mean, fuck it, it's your
Okay,
channel.
let me.
Whatever.
Yeah, but I would like to keep my job.
Yeah.
Destiny.
I
I mean,
don't.
I know you like to play fast and loose with you playing like
Yeah,
Hunter
according
Biden.
to some
porn
people that work on
stuff,
Twitch,
but,
apparently I love towing the line.
you're like a rebel without a cause. But I would like to.
Like that,
myself.
dude. But like, could you imagine like somebody like Crowder tweeting that, like about any gay political figure ever? Like the outrage, like
Also,
how insane that would
didn't
be?
this get a lot of backlash too, though?
Not that I heard. Maybe I hope it did somewhere, but I didn't really hear anybody giving it back. I think everybody was laughing it off.
I'm
Because
looking
most
at
of
the
online-
comments right now,
Uh-huh.
and they're like all like at Senator Bernie Sanders. Didn't you talk to these fuckers? Second one, this is fucked. So you sign off on this, Bernie? Hey, MSNBC, here's a classic Bernie bro. Never Bernie. Lamau. And I saw like one person saying Lamau and everybody calling this homophobic. Next one, internalized homophobia. Next one, Bernie bro. Like 9, I'm looking at all of this going down here. It looks like 99% of what I'm seeing is people like, dude, what the hell is this? This is absolutely disgusting. And like one post of like, Lamau, people think this is homophobic.
I mean, like we can go by the holy ratio and see how the tweet did. It had 500 retweets, 8,500 likes. How many replies did it get?
How do you check that? I'm sorry, I'm not that great at this stuff.
And then also, actually, look more at the replies. So, like, here's somebody shitting on them. I think the reason why these replies are popping up for you is because these are the ones that that Virgil is responding to. Like, so, like, look at this one. So, what you're saying is like, so you sign off on this? This will build a winning general election coalition. Might as well start planning Trump second inauguration.
I only
The reason
found
why this showing up,
one.
hold on. The reason why this is showing up is because Virgil responded. He said, "Yeah, it will," and he's got more likes than the guy that made the response. Or like this person said, like, "This is fucked." He's got 137 likes. Virgil responded to him. He's almost 2,000 likes. Right. And like, yeah. So like these tweets that are showing up at the top are just the ones that Virgil is responding to. And he's getting way more engagement on all of his tweets than anybody criticizing him. I'm not saying that there was no pushback at all, but it seemed like generally the reception online, right? Like here's another one, right? This is like 3,000 likes. I wish I had all of these still
I
documented.
mean, you do know like how, I mean, I don't want to be like completely mean, but it also feels a little like kind of silly to be like, man, this tweet got 8,000 likes, man. It shows that homophobia is super prevalent. Like it's like one tweet. Like we can't build like a sample out. This just feels like hardcore confirmation bias.
I mean, when we go by online shit, that's kind of how at least I've always like looked to see the effectiveness of stuff, right? Like again, like when I was arguing with people like Sargon and fucking all these other losers in the past, like generally my argument was like, dude, you're freaking out over a Twitter account that's getting like 3 likes per tweet. Who the fuck cares? Like meanwhile, like look at these conservatives that are getting like this type of engagement or this type of, like that was generally the argument. Well, now when you're starting to get tweets that are picking up like major like engagement online, right? I feel like you can start to make, now again, that's not necessarily saying like, well, this is the real world voting base or whatever, but like I think you're starting to get into these.
Yeah, but then under this, one second. Okay, so The thing that gets me here though is if we go into this basics, then like Tulsi Gabbard should have did a lot better than she actually ended up doing, right? Because I saw
Bernie
a lot
Sanders
of
could have, yeah.
I saw a lot of love for Tulsi Gabbard online. I mean, you look at Nico House and like the type of stuff that he put out, or all the love that she got.
Okay,
And she ended up doing what, like 1%?
I understand. Let me be clear. I'm not trying to say that like these tweets mean that like our real life everything is fucked, or that like these guys are like the majority figures on the left now. I don't necessarily mean that. But what I'm saying is that we have moved significantly more into the mainstream than it was 5 years ago. 5 years ago, SJWs were fucking boogeymen that nobody gave a fuck about, and now they're making more money online than anybody else online. That's a huge change. Like Brianna's podcast is massively fucking popular. You know, like the Chapo Trap House people, it's the most famous podcast in there. Like these people are way more popular. Now, they're still online for sure. Okay. But like, look at the Justice Dems, right? They were founded by, who was that? Kyle Kalinske and Cenk. These are two online figures, right? Like it's getting more in that direction. Like, I'm not saying like, oh, well, look, conservatives are a problem in the past. Now we got to worry about the new online, blah, blah, blah. I'm just saying that like it's way more than it used to be.
I will say that it probably does have more impact than it used to be just due to the online sphere. Like I'm not saying like out of today comparative to like 5 years ago. I would say a lot of that has to do with the fact that more people are online, and due to how algorithms will like, of course, due to how these things get interactions, things that are like this will like, get more clicks a lot faster. And I do think that this has become a bigger problem, but I still think we're kind of overblowing how big of a problem this actually is. I haven't seen like this type of rhetoric really lead to any electoral changes, policy changes, even a lot of rhetoric changes from like people
also,
like on the left.
Electoral changes,
even
it's not like for electoral changes, we've got Nevada. It's not the best example because Nevada has a lot of extremist shit that goes on. But
Nevada's
like,
always, and it's like,
yeah, it is. It is very crazy. But
and even if we say Nevada,
but it's like I don't disagree with what you're saying. But it's like there's a guy that said he's going to kill us, and now he's driving to the store to buy the gun. He doesn't have the gun yet. He doesn't have the ammunition yet. But it's like, whew, like I mean, like it's kind of spooky. Like some of this shit is a little bit fucking spooky. That's all I'm saying. Like before, it was literally like. Before, when I was arguing against it, they were saying like it was just some kid online talking about how he was going to kill you. But now it's like, you know, there's a guy driving to the store getting ready to get something, and maybe he's going to buy a gun, maybe he's not. Like maybe it all fizzles out, but like,
and even if we do talk about the Nevada stuff, right? Even that, I would say, of course, there's probably problems with it. I haven't looked super hardcore into it, but was like Nevada doing this Pete Buttigieg stuff at all? Was like Nevada? Like,
I don't know. Well, so they're the ones where one of the head like of the new Dems there. I don't even know if they call themselves Democrats. Posted a thing about how like, oh, I like this new symbol. The meme about it was like the Nevada symbol that was like
the guillotine, yeah. Well, to be completely honest though, hating the rich has always been, and I'm not gonna say like I don't want to like water anything down, but hating the rich has always been like a big thing about like probably like Nevada.
That's true.
Nevada politics has always been on the edges. Wait.
There's
there's always been a difference between Nevada and the rest of the Democratic Party in the entirety of the country.
There has been, and even with the Republicans, that's true. Yeah.
Yep. And number two, hating the rich has always been like a big how do I put this?
That's true, but hating the rich and eating the rich are, I think, a little bit
the thing is,
different.
But the problem with terms like eating the rich is a lot of people interpret eating the rich in a lot of different ways, and that's the problem with it. That I think like some people, when I originally heard eat the rich and I saw these pins, I was like, yeah, you take all their wealth, tax them out of existence. That's how I
used to say that too, but the problem is that like that's just not, people are, it's like the tanky shit where people are like, oh, we don't actually mean this. And then like 5 years later, you find like, fuck, like 80% of you guys actually did mean it. Fuck me. And I was stuck defending you because I thought it was funny and I didn't think you actually meant it. Because that's where I'm at now.
We have no clue to know that, because at the end of the day, what you have to, I mean, ultimately, what could you do? You ask like the Nevada caucus, are you advocating for the execution of Elon Musk? And then they're going to, of course, say no, because they can't, even if they did believe that, they couldn't say it. They couldn't say that publicly.
Ultimately, what you do is you have to take a zero tolerance on this shit. So that's why I tweeted earlier, people online that identify as like fucking socialists or communists should be treated the exact same as fucking Nazis. You don't get to joke about it and meme about it and, oh, eat the rich and the kill landlords and it's just a meme until it's not. You stop it in advance. You say, all right, listen, these types of jokes, you know what? It's not cool. It's not okay. And it's not going to be supported anywhere. And it should be wholly disavowed. I think 100% the same.
I've had these arguments with people before. I remember I had to cut ties with a certain like college Democrats chapter because of the type of like weird like Mao supporting tweets they had ended up putting out. And now the person who used to run that account, me and him hate each other, absolutely despise each other. But the thing is, it's weird because I just don't, besides that maybe one instance, and that was somebody who's ultra online, and again, that was an online thing, I haven't seen like that stuff like on the ground in meetings and any of these.
So this is so fucking bias.
So if we're
okay?
doing
'Cause it is
confirmation bias here,
literally-
then I'll just do
this
my
is literally-
confirmation bias. You
yeah.
know?
So here's my sample size one confirmation bias. Okay, cool girl that I knew off Tinder here. Like local person. She went to law school, passed the bar. Like she was like one of my few real life friends that kept me grounded. Like she went from like I'm like a moderate Dem who like no, not a moderate Dem. She was like a progressive Dem who supported like progressive causes and all this shit. And she thought that like tankies and shit were cringe or whatever. To where she like is regularly like tweeting and Instagram storying about how Biden is the exact same as Trump. And I think she did most of it on the back of like being radicalized by that dumb fuck Sean King on Twitter, that fucking moron. And like that's like a figure, like that's one of the people that I see as like the gateway to this like extremist online dipshittery stuff. And like, man, dude, she was like one of the most like offline people. Like she doesn't know like what fucking Twitch is or like any of the weird like cringy, like she didn't know who Sargon of Akkad or any of these weird online people were or whatever. And she didn't even know a lot of like the like she doesn't know the Majority Report or Michael Brooks, but even she wound up in that area where she's tweeting about how like and Instagram storying about how like, oh, like Biden is the exact same on immigration as Trump. Like even worse. Look at the kids in the camps. I'm like, the fuck is wrong with you? Holy shit.
95% of Democrats approve of Joe Biden's job. 95%. These we talking these types of numbers.
He's
like
got the highest approval rating of any president right now. That is true.
That's not true. I don't believe that's true.
I think no. I
we're lower than
Obama. I think what? Even higher than Obama. That's why
we're
so
lower
huge
than
when it
Obama currently.
It might be currently, but at one point, I'm pretty sure Biden, it might have been right after the coronavirus stuff, had higher approval than any president in the U.S.
Yeah, and definitely within the Democratic Party. And so this
Mm-hmm.
thing is, unless you're talking about like this is all these like new third party stuff, which if that's the case, to be completely honest, that's hopeless. That doesn't have any chance of like getting actual power in this country. If we're being completely like the Green Party, the Libertarian Party, all these parties act nothing more than spoilers, right? We saw how Joshua Collins tried to do that. And what happened to Joshua Collins? That super online stuff. How'd that translate on the ground? It was miserable. It was pitiful. It was a joke.
Was like a literal fucking fraudster, though.
I mean,
but even he raised $200,000.
Yeah, and he raised money, and a lot of these people can like raise. They do like raise a few like $1 million, but then we're talking about like a few million or a few $100,000 in comparison to these other candidates for raising tens of millions. Of parties that are raising hundreds of millions, right? Talking about 95% approval ratings within the party for Joe Biden, which I'm sorry, not a lot of MLs are going to answer the phone. Yeah, I'm a Democrat and I approve of Joe Biden's man. Like that stuff in the party, like even the people that we're talking about that we would say that I would say may even be the left to me, the majority of them are still even saying, I approve of Joe Biden's thing. I approve of how he's doing right now. Like that's like within a party, 95% is pretty damn high.
It is. I agree. I just the path that we're on right now is very, very, very scary to me. And in the online world, it is completely dominated. There is no room for like a pretty extreme left voice unless you're in like very unique conservative circles. And it is really fucking far left.
Do you remember your conversation with Count Dankula when you talked about like how you were like, hey, he was like left-wing violence is so much more prevalent than right-wing violence. And then you were like, do you have any evidence for that? And then like he was like, I watched a bunch of YouTube videos. That's what it kind of feels like right now, to be completely honest. It feels like you're like, well, I got all these Twitters with like tweets with thousands of likes.
Like if you compare so look at like some of the largest, like most of the large online right people now are either like a lot of them are banned, a lot of them are demonetized. So you've got people like Crowder is still on YouTube, but his entire channel is demonetized. Alex Jones has been wholly deplatformed. Richard Spencer has been wholly deplatformed. Like Nick Fuentes has basically been, I think he even got banned on DLive, right?
I'm banned on Twitter though, which is strange to me.
Yeah, I don't know what the fuck is going on Twitter, right? But like these guys, it's not just like I watched a couple videos, right? And then like again, anecdotal, not really fair, but like I've given a lot of really extreme takes in my life. It wasn't until I dipped into the BLM shit that I got fucking destroyed for it. Like, and I've given more extreme takes than anything having to do with fucking Rittenhouse before.
So
right?
the thing is, I would again point to like we're just like talking about like again we're for the left we're talking about tweets and a few like small marches. I saw like one May Day march where somebody like
you keep trying to say it's not. It's about the largest podcast right now, like on Patreon, are left leaning, like by far. What does Travel Travels bring in? Like it's over 100,000 a month, I think.
Great. So that's a lot of money. That is true. But again, that's one podcast putting out bad ideas. Alex Jones has been putting out how much bullshit for a lot more money than that for a longer period of time.
Yeah, but like look at the difference in pushback. Joe Rogan.
I would say there is a difference in pushback, but that's because it has a difference in impact. Right-wing violence, as we both agree probably, has a much bigger impact. Like we saw what happened on January 6th.
I don't disagree with you. However, that goes back to what I said earlier. I don't think it's no longer acceptable to say we're going to wait until the violence happens. We're going to wait until people start killing each other over left-wing violence. And we're going to be like, okay, well, hold on. Now it's time to put like a hold on the memes, right? Like,
I mean, the thing is, right? We can. This feels like a little like this seems obviously like okay. So for me,
Like, you bring up Alex Jones, right? Joe Rogan almost lost, or did he lose his entire Spotify thing just because he had Alex Jones on his show?
yeah, that's true. And the thing is, I guess for me, is this is what I think you're at. You're at a place where obviously this isn't having the same impact, but I don't want it to get to that point. And so you want to like jump in the way of like this moving truck and stop it before it like does something. Is that basically your position? Like it's not the same.
Sure. I don't think it's
but
like at
leading
the
up
level
to it.
right now where it's like destroying our real life, but like it's heavily trending in that direction. Like so much more than it was even like 3 years ago. It's like unreal.
How many people is actually Chapo? Because a lot of how many people is Chapo Trap House's podcast actually reaching? I'm actually curious because that does sound like a lot of money, but that doesn't necessarily translate into like millions.
Can you get like how do you feel like listeners?
I don't know. Like if you go to SoundCloud, I know they probably uploaded multiple places, but you can go to SoundCloud. You can check like how many like listens it's got. I think.
I don't use any of those sites, so I have no idea.
Does Dylan not actually?
But people are saying the numbers are private.
The numbers are private. Well, damn. Well. Guys, don't just guess in chat. We don't have that. We don't have those numbers.
Oh, they have 37,000 patrons. Yeah, true. Like Trump support was literally a meme subreddit, and then the Donald became like the largest conservative subreddit on Reddit. It got banned. To be fair, Trap House got banned on Reddit as well.
True.
The QAnon shit started off as a fucking meme on 4chan, and now we've got like Marjorie Green Taylor in fucking office.
True. I guess for me, it's just I haven't seen that translate electorally. I haven't seen it translate in like really on the ground politically. I haven't seen it translate into organizing circles that much. I haven't seen it.
Well, like so this is like where hold on, wait, I disagree on like all of those points. So electorally, you've got a group of like you've got a caucus that was started by half by Kyle Kalinske, is the Justice Dems who have elected figures. Okay, so electorally they're there. In terms of on the ground,
wait. Well, let's be clear. AOC is not the same as Chapo Trap House. We can't pretend there's the same.
She's not the same, but again, like you're saying that like until Virgil is literally calling people the F slur on national TV, it's not anything.
I'm not saying it's not anything, but it's hard for me to take this like as a serious threat. Because it doesn't feel like a serious threat.
Exists as like on the ground protesting people. They've got chapters.
Yeah, they've got chapters, and the vast majority of my interaction with the DSA have been productive in doing local organizing. When I was out there yesterday on May Day, when I was out there, like striking like outside Mark, what's his name? Mark, he's a senator, Virginia. Mark something, Senator Virginia, Mark. Somebody can help me. Mark Warner. Yeah. When we were outside of Mark Warner's house, the people that I saw there were DSA. They weren't advocating for the execution of this and that. But a lot of them advocating for things that are to the left of me, most certainly. But the vast majority of
I don't know. I bet if we scrutinize their Twitter accounts anywhere near as much as we scrutinize right-leaning Twitter accounts, I bet you'd find a whole lot of fucking tanky jokes. You've got to consider that, okay, so like for somebody like Rittenhouse, who I don't support or who I disavow, I don't defend this guy ever, and I never have, okay? But for somebody like Rittenhouse, this is what it took to call Rittenhouse a Nazi. Of all the people that went to his event, they found one guy that had on Facebook posted a Nazi meme, and that was enough to make every single person in that Kenosha March or whatever, that Kenosha squad or whatever, all of them were Nazis, right? Like, if we were to hold left-leaning people up to anywhere remotely similar to that level of scrutiny, every single lefty that's marching would be a fucking tanky, guaranteed. 95% of them would be. Like, sure, maybe like outwards on the street, they're not out there like saying the craziest shit. But man, dude, as soon as you peek into their social medias, there's a lot of crazy fucking shit that's being posted out there. And it's all like normalized and shit. And like we see it more and more. Or so like, here's another thing. Maybe it hasn't materialized in real life yet. But you see it a lot in the commentary in China and the Uyghur stuff too. And that's like a real life situation where you're seeing a lot of the online opinions. If you try to say anything bad about it, people are like, well, what about America? What about America? I don't know. The Uyghur stuff might be fake. Like,
and the thing is, I mean, I'll accept that like Uyghur denialism is really disgusting. But I also wouldn't accept that that's been normalized. Like the vast majority, when I see somebody do Uyghur denial, if they're in their own little insulated like tanky communities, but as immediately as that breaks out, they get thrown around. They get pretty dunked on, like pretty hardcore a lot of times. I mean, they get compared to Holocaust deniers almost immediately.
All right, I guess we'll see. I hope that in 5 years, you come back, Dylan, you're like, look at how dumb you were, Destiny. Like, all those people are like, they disappeared. They're nobody now. And I'd be like, oh, you were right. I hope that's the case.
I'm hoping so. I'm hoping, look, 5 years from now, they're all going to be Milo, you know? They're all going to be Milo. They're trying to, start a new, different grift. You never know.
Sure.
What do you think of Milo and his whole new conversion therapy thing?
I don't know. Is there any women try to like seduce him yet to see if he's actually
He's
straight?
still living with his husband. He's just says he's now is his roommate. He's just reverted to
Living in sin. Wow.
living in sin. Absolutely disgusting. Do you okay? I'm thinking of doing this, and obviously this is risky, and I want to know what your thoughts on this. Do you think conversion therapy would be a good hippy dippy topic?
I imagine it's. I don't know. I guess we go read the research on it. Like,
It'd be the banning of conversion therapy. It wouldn't be whether it's effective or not. Well, it eventually would slide into that, of course.
yeah, you're not gonna get a YouTube 7-part series of Dylan tries conversion therapy.
Dylan, try. You know what? Huh?
The real meme would be trying it as a meme, and then it actually does work, and now you're like, oh shit. I thought about that once for like I want to run around like Malmo and do a podcast because like people always say like, oh, Malmo was on fire because of all the Muslim immigrants, blah blah blah. And it's like it's not. If you've ever
It's
been
not.
there,
It's absolutely.
But
fine.
like I always thought like how fucking horrible would it be if I go there and I end up being like the unluckiest motherfucker ever and I get killed by like some random fuck terrorist attack? Like it would be ammunition for conservatives forever.
True. Actually, this is not a terrible idea. If I try out conversion therapy, see how it goes. And the thing is, if I admit myself, then I can just leave at any time since it's not my parents admitting me, right?
True.
So if any time they're like, okay, we're getting out the we're getting out the pliers, you know, I can be like, you know what? I think I'm cured. See you later.
Yeah. True.
Maybe. Okay, if I do that, Destiny, will you react to the whole series?
Yeah, I'll do it. I'll watch it all. Okay.
What?
Just don't put anything bad. Okay.
Don't put anything bad in there. What, you think homophobia isn't bad, Destiny?
True.
Wow. Damn.
Okay, here, hold on. Plug your shit for a bit. I'm gonna make a sandwich. I'll be back in a sec.
If you guys agreed or disagree with me today, the best thing you can do is go to DylanBurnsTV on Twitch. That's DylanBurnsTV. I would appreciate the support. If you guys agreed or disagree with me today, the best thing you can do is go to DylanBurnsTV on Twitch. That's DylanBurnsTV. I would appreciate the support. Unless you're a Yee poster. If you're a Yee poster, I don't want you in my community. I find you disgusting. I find you to be a degenerate, and I don't want you anywhere near me. Okay? I want to purge Yee posters. You know how Destiny's going on that anti-lefty arc? I'm going on the anti-Yee arc. Disgusting, degenerate, and how do I say this without getting human rights with Yee post? Like, you gotta like honestly think about it. Like, human rights Yee posters, is that compatible? Is that someone? Do we devalue human rights by giving it to Yee posters? That's the question. That'll be debated on this Friday's Hippie Dippy Roundtable, of course. Yee posters, little dumb dinosaur. You want to know why? Pepe wins. The frogs survived the extinction. The dinos went by, okay? You'd say Yee never lose. Yee lost when the meteor hit the surface of the earth, okay? So Yee did lose. Yee lost pretty hard. Not even a good opportunity to use Yee. It's a dinosaur. What's the reaction with Yee? What do you do? What do you do with that? Something happens on stream, you post Yee. Only when you say Yee. Pepe, there's so many different versions of him. So many different things. He seeped into outer culture. You want to know when the protesters in Hong Kong were protesting? They had stuffed Pepes. They made that represent a symbol of the protest movement. But none of them used Yee. You want to know why? Because none of them would want to have to get shot and die for what they believed in, holding a dumb little dinosaur, okay? Nobody wanted to do that. Nobody would. Am I Tomato Town genocide tonight? Look, I'm just saying we need to examine the facts of Tomato Town a little more closely. If you look at the lyrics about Southbound and how he didn't really go southbound, look, you just need to look at the details. You just need to look at the details. That's all I'm not asking to like say nothing happened. I'm just saying that I feel the media and the elites have kind of overplayed it at a small amount. Just a small amount. Just a small amount, you never know.
A curd is a curd.
Hey, thanks for subbing, Bezviz. Appreciate it. Got any questions before I head out, guys? Any questions for me? I'll look at chat for a little bit. See if you guys got any questions. Dylan, are you a commie? I'm not a communist. Can we send dino posters to conversion therapy? You know, not a terrible idea. What's my favorite anime this season? I love Banana Fish. It was adorable. It was pretty sad, but it was really cute. It was probably my favorite yaoi. It's still probably currently my favorite yaoi of all time. I really liked Banana Fish. Really good. Shit taste? Oh wow. Oh, okay. I got it. You guys want me to watch some hyper masculine. You don't want me to watch gay anime. Okay. I understand the type of reception I'm getting in Steven's community. It's a little interesting. Very, very interesting. Oh, Destiny sent me all these links during the debate. I didn't look at any of this. I didn't look at any of these links. Oops. Maybe I should have done that. Dylan, would you be as charitable towards Nazis if they got on a podcast? Well, the thing is, the difference would be there is that I've seen the what was it, the Anglo-Saxon caucus, the America First caucus actually happening. So that's the thing that would make me different. I have yet to see the Marxist, Leninist, Titoist, Maoist caucus form in DC. Okay, I've yet to see that happen. Dylan, are you going to confront Mike about that clip? I never talked to Mike about the clip. I might have a while ago. Next time I talk to him, maybe I'll bring it up. I don't know. Maybe he'll give me more context. And you know what? As we'll find out every time, Destiny was lying about an honorable man, Mike from PA. Actually, you know what? Don't follow me, guys. Don't go to DylanBurnsTV and follow me. Don't go to DylanBurnsTV on YouTube, as I'm only 200 subs away from my 25,000 goal. You know what you could do instead? You can go to Central Committee. Follow him, okay? Twitch.tv/Central Committee. You can follow him. Be sure to sub to him, okay? Be sure to donate to Central Committee. He deserves the support. He is an honorable man, a good man, and you have all besmirched his good name. He's someone who's ran for political office, yet you guys want to piss on him for doing great work, doing wonderful work that none of you could do. None of you could do. Nuh-uh. He's a good man, an honorable man, a hero. An icon. A civil rights pariah. And you want to know what? Mike from PA is no longer homophobic. No longer. I talked to him. Then he finally said, congrats on coming out as gay. I was like, okay, you're no longer homophobic. Took you a while, but no longer. He's a good man. And I don't appreciate the amount of hatred that you guys throw at him. Let's go on my screen. Let's get a good picture of Mike from PA up on this screen, man. He's a good man. A wonderful hero, an icon. Look at that, chat. Look at this. Look at this good picture of an honorable man. Where is it? Where is it? Where do I have it? Here it is. Honorable man.
Here what is?
Just talking about how Mike from PA is a civil rights hero. And you attack him improperly.
An ex-boxer, wrestler, proud military man, served in all three branches, a successful politician.
You know what? I think you're just scared of him because he could beat you up. in a street fight. If you did street beefs with him, he could beat you up, and that's why I think you're scared of him.
Absolutely. True.
True.
I don't know if I've ever heard a more true take in my entire life, to be
100%.
honest.
100%. Anyway, you have a blessed day, okay? Sorry you can come on this Friday. Maybe next Friday.
Maybe, hopefully.
We're doing an
I'll be back.
LGBTQ plus dating show. You want on that?
I'll think about it, okay? But
Think about
probably
it? Okay. Okay, great. See you later.
I'll be careful, bye.
Bye.